found out that it was written by a devotee called Nilkant Goswami, who was born around 1847, and it's actually part of a larger volume of work of 100 verses, so it's called a Satakam. So Kevalastakam is just 8 verses picked from there. It's a really, really beautiful bhajan. It glorifies the holy name, and today we'll go through it. We will deconstruct it word by word, try to understand what it means, and sing it as we go along. Everything that I'm sharing is not my own words. They are words of our previous teachers, past, present, so I'm ever grateful for all of them. Okay. It came up before, right?
Oh, there you go.
So the first verse, what's happening?
Behind the table.
Normally I don't use slides, and one day I did.
That's it.
Okay, if it doesn't come up, everybody has phones. You can look up Kevalastakam. Hopefully it decides to show up. Oh, it came, didn't it?
Briefly.
Check the one on your laptop. Push it in on the laptop.
Oh, there you go.
Someone want to sit here and hold it? Okay. Don't touch it. So the first word, Madhuram. You have to help me here. Madhur, what does it mean? Sweet. Madhuram Madhurebhyopi. It is the sweetest of all sweet things. Mangalam. What does Mangal mean? Auspicious. It is the most auspicious of auspicious things. Pavanam Pavanebhyopi. What's Pavanam?
Purifying.
Purifying. You can't look at the English.
No,
Okay, good. Purifying. It is the most purifying of all purifying things. So now, the first verse, it's actually I think it's the 11th from this whole series of 100 verses. It's selling us the holy name. You know, whenever you watch an advertisement on TV or on your phone, they never say the price first. Because if they say the price first, nobody's going to buy it. They sell it to you first. Oh, this luxurious silk is, handcrafted and woven by artisans, and you're like, oh, and then you think, okay, I'm going to buy it, whatever the price. So in the same way, we're given the benefits of the holy name. It's the sweetest of all sweet things. It's the most auspicious of all auspicious, and it's the most purifying. In life, we're always looking for something pleasurable and beneficial. So when you think about something simple like food, we want something that tastes good. A chocolate cake. It's pleasurable to my tongue, but it's not the most beneficial to my body. Or I could eat a salad. Okay, you can get some salads that taste nice, but if I was to eat a salad every day, it's beneficial to my body, but not always the most pleasurable for my tongue. But the holy name is both. It's sweet when we are experiencing it, and it's all auspicious. It's beneficial to us afterwards. Now, I'm sitting here thinking, the holy name is sweet. I don't feel it. I've been chanting for a long time, well over 10, 15 years, and I struggle. Every day when I sit to do my japa, I struggle. And while singing this bhajan is really beautiful because we're singing it in kirtan, there's musical accompaniments, it's easier for us to focus. Many of I don't know if I can say many of us devotees, but I definitely, when I sit down to do my japa, it is not sweet for me. The reason it's not sweet is because I'm not investing my attention in it. When I'm chanting, my mind is wandering everywhere. The more I invest my attention in the holy name, the more I'll experience its sweetness, right? It's a reciprocal relationship. If I am not putting anything into the relationship, it's not going to give anything back to me. So number one, we try to chant with attention. The holy name is pure. amongst all purificatory things. There are many other things which can also purify us. You can get purified by taking darshan of the Lord. You can get purified by reading the scriptures. And you can get purified by visiting holy places. But the holy name is very special because it's accessible anywhere and everywhere. I don't need to take my Bhagavad Gita with me. I don't need to go to Vrindavan. I don't need to be in a temple. I can literally chant the holy name everywhere. There's a really beautiful story of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was going to the bathroom. And normally Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was constantly chanting. But when he went to when he went to go to the bathroom to answer the call of nature, he held his tongue. He stopped chanting. And then a young boy outside, when he came out, he said, "Why did you stop chanting?" He said, "You said that holy name can be chanted anywhere. It's the most purifying of things. So even when you go to the bathroom, you should be able to chant." And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "You're right. From today, you are my guru." So there's this little boy, and his name was Gopal, and then he became Gopal Guru Goswami. So in that way, we can be ascertained and we can have this reassurance that it's not only sweet, it's not only auspicious, but it is also the most purifying thing. So with the English, let's sing the first verse. Important line of the verse. Harir Nam Eva Kevalam. You'll find this repeated throughout the whole Satakam, that the holy name alone is everything. So sometimes when we listen, we hear a bhajan or we hear a mantra, we just chant it because we were told to do so. We don't understand the meaning. But today what I want to try and encourage you to do is build a relationship with this bhajan. So you can, when you read it, you don't have to understand the English fully. You don't have to understand the Sanskrit. You can read the words and know, okay, I remember it's sweet. I remember it's auspicious. I remember it's purifying. At the end of the day, the holy name alone is everything. Madhuram Madhurebhyo pi. Everyone. Madhuram. Hare Rama. Oh, you guys are so. Oh. Are you sold on the holy name? Yes. You agree that it's going to be sweet, auspicious, purificatory? Okay. Abrahma stamba paryantam. Most smallest stump, like the stump of a tree. Everything is insignificant. Sarvam maya mayam jagat. So jagat, which is the whole, it's maya, it's illusion. Satyam punah satyam. What is satyam? Truth. The only truth. Things are emphasized because they're important. The only truth is the holy name. So what the author is trying to say, it's not that everything is maya. It's not that everything is illusion. It's not that Brahma is illusion. It's not that material things are illusion. It's when we think that when I become Brahma, or when I get that particular thing, I will be happy. Everyone's always trying to be the best, get the promotion in work, whatever it is. We always think, when I get this, I'm going to be happy. But this thinking, that is maya, that's illusion. And we're not trying to say that material things are bad. It's not that my phone is bad. But if I think that my phone, which is an item of functional necessity, is a source of happiness, that's wrong. I should just see material things as a functional necessity. That's something that is there to help me do whatever I need to do. But when I see it as a source of my happiness, that's when things go haywire. So we have to realize that misery is democratic. Who has ever experienced misery? It doesn't spare anyone. Everyone gets affected by misery. But doing this, having this thought, having this conviction in the holy name will mean that we don't let the pursuit of material things consume us. We can still advance in our career. We can still aim for the next iPhone. We can still want the latest kitchen gadget, but that can't consume us completely. That can't be the source of our happiness. The other thing is that our mind tends to eternalize things. If I'm in a problem, oh my God, this is it. This is what it's going to be like forever. Who's ever thought that? Yeah? It can be the smallest thing, yeah? You got two hands up, yeah. It can be the smallest thing and you think, this is it, this is the end. But then you look back on your life, 1 month later you'll look back at that time and you'll think, that was so insignificant. Why was I even bothering about that? Because we think everything in this world is eternal. The only thing in this world that is eternal is Krishna and our relationship with him. Everything else is temporary. So when we chant the holy name, it gives us something to focus on. Hopefully, it makes us think of our worldly problems less, and we can be convicted that this is the only truth. So remember, everything in this world is insignificant. The entire universe, from exalted Brahma down to the lowly clump of grass, is a product of the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord. The only thing that is reality, again I say reality, the holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. We would think that Brahma, being the creator, he's got no worries, he's got no anxieties, but we would be wrong. Brahma also has his fair share of problems. Just because he's in an amazing post as creator, problems don't spare him. Okay, so let's sing this. Abrahma stamba paryantam.
Abrahma stamba paryantam.
Abrahma stamba paryantam.
Abrahma stamba paryantam.
Sarva maya mayam jagat.
Sarva maya mayam jagat.
Sarva maya guru. Who is a guru? Teacher. Sa pita. Chapi. Sa mata. Bandhavo pisa. Friends. Shiksha. To teach, to enlighten, yes. Chet sada smartam Hare nama eva kevalam. So in this verse the author says, that person is a real guru. That person is a real father. That person is a real mother. That person is a real friend who teaches us about the holy names of the Lord. The holy name alone is everything. That person is a true preceptor or a true father, a true mother, and a true friend, also only if they teach one to always remember everything. We can use this verse as an inspiration to spiritualize all our worldly relationships. Whatever your relationship is with your mother, your father, your friends, you can encourage them. Or if you have children, you can encourage them. Inspire them to take up to the practice of the holy name. A really nice example of this is in the Bhagavatam 4th canto in the story of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj was a little boy and he got insulted by his stepmother, Suruchi. And, he was thrown off the throne and she said, "You'll never be king because you're not born from my womb." So he went running to his mother, Suniti. And Suniti consoled him. And she said this beautiful verse. She said, "My dear Dhruva, as far as I am concerned, I do not find anyone who can mitigate your distress, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose eyes are like lotus petals." Now, as a mother, when your child comes to you, you're everything for that child. You're their comfort. You're the one that's going to alleviate any pain or suffering that they're going through. Very rarely do you send them off to someone else. But what Suniti is doing, she told Dhruva Maharaj, "You go find the Supreme Personality of Godhead." She said, "You go to the forest." Dhruva Maharaj was 5 years old. She said, "You go to the forest, you pray, you meditate, and he is the only one that can protect you." As a mother, who can say that? No one can say that. Nobody would send their child into the forest at 5 years of age. But she did that not only because she was a good mother, but she was a good devotee. She wants to give her son, she knows she can't help her son. And she's passing that on to him, that you go to the person that can help you, Krishna. And so Dhruva was empowered by his mother's love. So a lot of times when I sing this bhajan, I think of my own parents. They're the ones that told me to chant. Still now, I am 36 years old. My mom will ask me, "Have you done your rounds?" She's telling me to chant all the time. Even within our friendships, who are our friends? Who are our real friends? We should try to be inspiring each other to chant. One thing my dad always says, when we meet each other, everyone will say, "How are you?" And we'll mostly reply, "Yeah, I'm good." Whether you're actually good or not, that's a different story. But then he said the next question you should ask, if you're close enough to that person, "How is your japa?" Who would be comfortable enough to answer that? Not many people. But that's what real friends are there for. That we have to encourage each other on this path. And it's very similar to that famous verse, all of you would know it. Tvameva mata, I don't even. Chavita tvameva, tvameva bandhu, sasaka tvameva. Ya dravidam tvameva, tvameva sarvam, mama deva deva. So that verse also is saying in the same way that, my mother, my father, my friend, my relative, the security of knowledge and wealth, everything that I have is through Krishna. So yes, sometimes your mom might say, no disrespect to any moms, they'll say, "I carried you for 9 months, I can do anything." But then I was listening to a class and one Prabhu said that, but Krishna gave that child to the mother. So we can understand through our parents' love, the love of Krishna. We can understand through our friends' love, the love of Krishna. So that I am receiving these agents, I'm receiving this love, all of these beautiful relationships that I have in my life because of Krishna. I have a close god sister, but she's almost like a godmother. She's about 75 years old. And I asked her, I said, at the time of death, sometimes who knows when that's going to happen, when you see all your loved ones around you, you think of that relationship. At the time of death, we should be thinking just of Krishna. I said, what happens when you see, if you're in that situation where your loved ones around you, you'll just think of them. They might distract you from thinking of Krishna. And she said a really beautiful thing. She said, think of how they strengthened your relationship with Krishna. How they added to your spiritual life. What did they give to you? What did they give to your bhakti? And in that way, you can remember Krishna through them. So even while we're living, look at all of your relationships, spiritualize them. There's one extreme where we think being a devotee means I reject all my worldly relations and don't want to have any connection with my father, mother. Or there's the other extreme where we put on absolute reality all of our relationships. That my father and my mother, they're everything. No one can do, they are the best. That relationship comes first. But we have to be somewhere in the middle. That we're grateful for the relationships that we have in this world, but we see them all as agents of Krishna. And through them, we're receiving his love. So while you're singing this verse, you can meditate on your parents, you can meditate on your friends, on your guru, those people in your life that have helped inspire you in Krishna consciousness. Sa Guru Sa Pita Chapi.
Guru Samita Japi
Samata Bandhavo Pisa
Samata Bandhavo Pisa
Samata Bandhavo Pisa
Samata
Nishwase. What is swas?
Breath.
Breath. Nahi? Vishwas. No faith. I have no faith that with this incoming breath, I'm going to breathe out. I should have no faith on this breath. Kada rudho bhavishyati. Bhavishyati is your future. How can you secure your future? Kirtaniya, which means to do kirtan, mato balyad. From a young age, bal, right? So do kirtan from a young age, your holy name. The holy name alone is everything. That there is no certainty when the last breath will come. And put an abrupt halt to all one's material plans, your future. You've got no insurance. Therefore, it is wise to always practice chanting from very childhood. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. Many people, especially if you go back home to India, they'll say, why are you doing this at such a young age? In Gujarati, some of my family members will say, ISKCON ma padi gaya. It's like I fell into ISKCON. I didn't fall. It's such a great thing. We rose to ISKCON. And who knows when old is? Something could happen, God forbid, and we could go tomorrow. That means we're old right now. Everyone thinks I still have time, I still have time, I still have time. No, you don't have time. This is it's a more morbid but real reminder of the fragility of life. And even this fact about, some people feel really uncomfortable when you speak about death. Why are you speaking about such a morbid subject? But even that can be viewed within the three modes of material nature. So some people can think, okay, if there's no faith, if there's no guarantee about my next breath, then I should just stop everything. Why am I going out? Why am I doing this? But that is expressing that emotion in a mode of ignorance. We develop a lot of fearfulness around death, and then we live a life of insecurity. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was giving a story of one lady. Every month she used to go to the doctor to get a cancer checkup. She didn't have any symptoms. After 23 years, she got cancer. She said, look, I got it. But that doesn't mean you go every single month, right? You can't live in a state of constant fear and insecurity. Then, if you're thinking about death in the mode of passion, you can go at any time. You think YOLO. What's YOLO? You only live once. I'm trying to connect. We live life because we think we're going to die. We go out, we party. Okay, if I'm going to die tomorrow, let me do everything that I wanted today. I'm going to eat my favorite meal. I'm going to go out. I'm going to spend all my money. Who knows whether kal ho na ho, right? But we need to try and see death in the mode of goodness. We see the fleeting nature of life in a mature way. We understand that we have both a spiritual life, a spiritual realm, and a dimension and a material dimension. So you can't just be like, okay, if death is going to come at any moment, I'm going to quit my job and just sit there and chant. No, we understand we have a material life, we have duties. We do everything that we can in our material world to keep us healthy, to keep our body, to keep our mind, our emotions, our finances, everything secure. But we also invest in our spiritual life. We also invest in that spiritual bank account, because that's actually what's going to give us the real insurance, the real life insurance at the end of our lives. So when Krishna is available to us through his holy name, we have to focus on Krishna at that time. Krishna is the holy name. Even for me, it's a very difficult concept to understand. There's a beautiful verse, Kali Kale Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar, that in this age of Kali Yuga, Krishna has manifested as the holy name. It still blows my mind that when I chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's Krishna. That's Krishna. I honestly, I still don't accept it. I still don't understand it. But he's there all the time. So if he's there all the time, he's making himself available to us. We have to take that opportunity. So we have to, whenever I'm chanting, I need to do my best to focus with attention. Give him my time. Because then when we reciprocate with Krishna when he's available to us, he'll permeate our consciousness and he'll help us in remembering him. There's a story of a saint from southern India, Varadaraj Swami, and he asked his guru, he said, if I don't remember Krishna at the time of death, what will happen? And there's many examples within our recent history, within our past history. There are great devotees who have unfortunately met their end in a very untimely fashion and a very abrupt fashion, in car accidents, explosions, whatever. So what is the guarantee that they're going to remember Krishna at the time of death? And so Varadaraja Swami's guru said, if you don't remember Krishna at the time of death, Krishna will come and whisper in your ear to remind you to remember him at the time of death. But we can't live on that hope. Everyone's nodding their head, fine. I'm secure. But if you don't do it your whole life, what's the guarantee that that will happen? That's why they're telling us, Kirtaniya Mato Balya, from childhood, chant. From childhood, tell your children to chant. Because anything can happen at any time. When we think about death, so we can focus on Krishna, and we remember that all the distractions are temporary. And again, we need to think about this topic in a philosophical context and in the mode of goodness. Sometimes somebody is not in the right state of mind to accept this topic about death. Don't bring it up. You have to be very careful and sensitive when you approach it. But you don't know when your last breath will be. Nishvase nahi vishvaso. Don't have faith in your breath, that what you take in will actually come out. And so, chant from childhood. Nishvase nahi vishvaso.
Nishvase nahi vishvasa.
Nishvase nahi vishvasa.
Nishvase nahi vishvasa. Kadarudo bhavishyati.
Kadarudo bhavishyati.
Kadarudo bhavishyati.
Kirtaniya mato balya. Dhariname Kevala.
Kirtaniya mato balyat. Hare name Kevala.
Kirtaniya mato balyat. Dhariname Kevala.
Kirtaniya mato balyat. Hare name Kevala. Hare name Kevala. Hare name Kevala.
Hari. Who is Hari? Krishna. Sada. Sorry? Always, yes. Vaset Tatra. One who lives. He always lives. Where does he live? Yatra Bhagavata Jana. Bhagavata is devotees. Amongst the devotees. But which devotees? Not just any devotees. Gayanti. Sing. They sing with bhakti bhavena. So this is where you will find the holy name, a really wonderful experience of the holy name. The Lord Hari eternally dwells in that place where truly exalted, spiritually advanced souls sing in the mood of pure devotion. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. We can truly experience Krishna when we experience the holy name through his devotees. I'm sure all of you have had an experience of a very powerful kirtan, even a powerful class, someone chanting very powerfully that has moved you. That's why it's really important to keep on hearing, because that encourages us. And even through kirtan, Giriraj Maharaj once explained it, it's like a petition. If you want to get some change brought about by the government, you get everyone to sign a petition. So doing japa, doing kirtan on your own is nice, but when we do it together, it's like we're calling out to Krishna. It's a cumulative effect. And this energy attracts the mercy of Krishna. So there's not much more I can say about this, but always seek the association of devotees, especially those with that chant, with bhakti, and through them you will experience the holy name. Hari sada vase tatra.
Hari sada vase tatra.
Hari sada vase tatra.
Hari sada vase tatra.
Yatra bhagavata jana.
Yatra bhagavata jana.
Yatra bhagavata jana.
Yatra bhagavata jana.
Gayanti bhakti bhavena. Harinameva kevala.
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 Harinameva kevala.
Harinameva kevala.
Harinameva kevala.
Harinameva kevala.
Aho dukham. Misery. Mahadukam.
Even more misery.
Great misery. Dukhad. More misery. Dukhataram. Even more misery. Yata. Kachartam vrishmitam ratna. What is ratna? Jewel. Right? We've mistaken a great jewel in front of us. So this world, oh, what a sorrow. What a great sorrow. More painful than any other misery in this world is mistaking it as a mere piece of glass. The people have forgotten this jewel. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. So we have this jewel in front of us. We have this ratna in front of us, and we've mistaken it. Because we all have different conceptions of fortune. What is wealth for some of you?
Money.
Money? House? Health? Money, house, health. Anyone else? Anything different?
Peaceful.
Sorry?
Peaceful.
Peaceful? Yes. Mental health?
Time.
Time? Yes. Yes. Family? So we all have different conceptions of wealth. Chaitanya Prabhu explained it so nicely. He goes, material growth is having what we want. Right? We all have certain wants. And when we have them, then we consider ourselves materially successful. I want the next iPhone. When I get that, I'm going to be successful. I want a Tesla. When I get that, I'm going to be successful. I want a promotion in my job. When I get that, I'm going to be successful. But spiritual growth is wanting what we have. Spiritual growth is wanting what we have. So we've already got so many things with us. We've already got so many blessings in our life. And when we are grateful for Krishna's blessings, whatever we've got, I want that. That's when we grow spiritually. And this comes from philosophical education and spiritual purification. That, you know, I wake up every day. This is not me also. I don't wake up every day like this and I'm grateful. Wow, I get to live another day. I have a roof over my head. Even though I have dirty laundry, I have laundry. I have clothes. Even though I have dishes to do, I have dishes. I have food to eat, right? That's the mentality that we should be going through life. Sometimes it can seem very artificial and put on. But even, we all laugh at that. Even just reminding ourselves like that, it uplifts us. It changes our mood. And we have to be reminded regularly of the jewel that's in front of us. This holy name that's in front of us. I'm giving this class. I loved preparing for it. Tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm going to forget everything. I'm going to forget about this precious jewel because such is the nature of the material world. And so what can I do to help myself is constantly remind myself about it. And if we don't hear regularly, then our chanting feels like a burden. Who's ever felt their chanting feel like a burden? Yeah? Because we start devaluing the holy name. So Prabhu gives a really nice analogy that, Ronnie, if I gave you 20 kilos to carry, you might carry it for a time and then be like, okay, Krish, you carry it now. Right? If I gave you a 20 kilo weight. But if I gave you 20 kilos of gold to carry, would you give that to Krish? No. Because you attribute value to that gold, right? And one of my favorite quotes to remind myself to be attentive to the holy name is from Dhanudhar Swami. And he says, to focus on something, one has to value it. To increase my attentiveness on the holy name, I meditate on its glories. So only when we value something will we focus on it. Will we give it the attention that it deserves. If I don't value the holy name, then I'm not going to pay attention when I chant. And so we have to remind ourselves daily. That could be by reciting some verses that glorify the holy name. That could be by hearing a class every day. Whatever it is, different things work for different people. Find what works for you and hold on to that. And remind yourself every day. I know Kaishori often has like verses put up on around her room. Sometimes you might read a nice verse and it's really inspirational. But you'll read it then and you'll be really inspired, then you'll forget about it a week later. So write it down, put it up, put post-it notes up, in your room, in your mirror, wherever, to remind you of the glories of the holy name. And a commitment in quantity helps develop quality. So sometimes people say, I chant all the time. I'm constantly singing in my mind. But when we commit ourselves to a particular quantity of our japa mala, whether it's 2 rounds every day, whether it's 4, 8, 16, whatever it is, commit to that quantity, because doing that regularly will help develop quality. And then Chaitanya Charan Prabhu explains a really nice thing. So he explains something called a point of concentration and a circle of concentration. So the point of concentration is listening to the holy name. When we chant, Srila Prabhupada told us, don't think of anything else. Just try and hear yourself chant sincerely. So I'm saying Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's all I should be thinking about. I should just be focusing on hearing myself chant. But in reality, I think about everything else but that. And so then he explains, then you have a circle of concentration. So instead of just a point of concentration, have a circle of concentration, and in that include everything that helps you remember the holy name. So it could be a particular form of Krishna. It could be a verse that's really stood out to you. It could be a particular pastime. So when your mind does wander, try and let it wander within that circle of concentration. And you can have visual cues around you. You can have little japa affirmations written on cards. Whatever it is that works for you, but create your own little circle of concentration. So, we live in a miserable world, but we don't have to be miserable, right? And the only way not to be miserable is chanting and realizing the value of the great jewel that we have in front of us. Aho dukham, aho dukham, mahadukham. Dukha Giyatam Karno. What is Karno?
Ear.
Ears. So, to listen, right, with your ears, constantly hear. Niyatam Niyatam Vacha. Vacha means to speak, and Niyata means always. Giyatam Giyatam Nityam. Giyatam,
Sing.
sing. Again, always sing. Harir Nam Eva Kevalam. It should be heard again and again with one's ears. It should be uttered over and over with one's voice. It should be perpetually sung and sung anew. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. So bhakti is about utilizing our senses to be absorbed in Krishna's service. We are not about sense suppression. We don't say, don't do this, don't watch this, don't eat this, don't smell this. Instead, whatever you do, engage all of your senses with. Make it Krishna Prasad. Make it to do with Krishna. Relate it back to Krishna. And in that way, you spiritualize our senses. Because whatever you feed your senses, that's what your consciousness will be like. If you always, I don't know, listen to Bollywood music, that's what your consciousness will be like. And you will always be thinking, you might have really bad ideas of romantic love, whatever. But, think of what you're taking in through all of your senses. Our biggest problem is that we've turned away from Krishna. That's it. That's our only problem, that we've turned away from Krishna. And how do we come back to turn towards Krishna? Is utilize our senses in his service. Utilize our senses, in thinking about Krishna, in singing about him, in hearing about him. And if you can't do it all the time, I can't do it all the time, at least do it some of the time. And by doing some of the time but regularly, you'll be able to do it all of the time. Don't lose hope and don't think, I'm not even going to try, because what's the point? I can't think of Krishna all the time. No, at least think of Krishna some of the time. And then you'll be able to think of him all of the time one day. That's the hope. So let's use our ears, our voices. Diyatam, diyatam karno.
Diyatam, diyatam karno.
Diyatam, diyatam karno.
Diyatam, diyatam karno.
Diyatam, diyatam vacha.
Diyatam, diyatam vacha.
Diyatam, diyatam vacha.
Diyatam, diyatam vacha.
Diyatam, diyatam nityam. Harinameva kevalam.
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 Harinameva Trini. Does anyone know what Trini refers to? No. Trinadapi. Grass. Who said grass? Someone said grass? Grass. Yes, Trini, grass. Trini Kritya Jagat Sarvam. Everything from the humble blade of grass to the entire universe. Rajate Sakalopari. We want to reign over it. We want to be the king of it. Chid Ananda Maya Shuddham. So the only thing that will give us eternal happiness and is pure again, Harir Nam Eva Kevalam. Sorry, it makes the entire universe seem insignificant as a blade of grass. So Jagat Sarvam becomes like Trini Kritya. It reigns supreme over all in a splendorous manner. The holy name, it reigns. Rajate Sakalopari. It masters over everything. It is full of eternally conscious divine ecstasy, Chid Ananda. It is supremely pure, Shuddham, Harir Nam Eva Kevalam. We always think of our frame of reference as the material world and what happens in this world. Some people might watch the news a little bit too much and are always all consumed about what's happening in this world. And because we always stay in the thoughts of this world, it's difficult for us to become absorbed in Krishna Bhakti. Krishna is special because he transcends this realm. He transcends this material realm. So if we can keep our eyes fixed on Krishna, then our heart will also follow. But if we keep our eyes fixed on the material world, then that's where our heart will go. So if we're constantly looking at BBC News or India Times or whatever it is you look at for news, that's where your energy, that's where your attention will go. Vaisheshika Prabhu says, what is it? Where your energy goes attention.
Attention goes, energy flows.
Yeah, where your attention goes, energy flows. So where are you putting your attention? How many times in the day are you thinking about Krishna? And again, it doesn't have to be stop and think about Krishna. It could be when you see a beautiful flower. I can pick this to offer to Krishna. When you will see slowly in your life, you will start to notice different things and relate them back to Krishna. When I was younger, I would think that when it's raining, Krishna's having a bath and it's splashing. But unfortunately, my mind got corrupted when I grew older and I realized what the weather is. So I don't have that conception anymore. But find ways, and be thankful for Krishna and all of his blessings in your life. Because the more you see him show up in your life, the more your mind will focus on him. And that's where your heart will ultimately go. Because he makes everything insignificant. The whole universe will become as insignificant as a blade of grass. In the Bhagavatam, in the 3rd canto, there's a section on the calculation of time. So time is calculated from the atom, then more and more. Then we learn about like the muhurat, then the day, the week, the year. We learn about Brahma's years, we learn about yugas, we learn about kalpas, manus. Then at the end of that chapter, it talks about the insignificance of Brahma's life. When we read about Brahma's life, we're like, wow, it's incomprehensible. It's too long. But then in the Bhagavatam, it says his life is insignificant. His span of time is insignificant. So in that way, the whole universe can become as insignificant as a blade of grass. The holy name makes the whole universe as insignificant as a blade of grass. And it reigns over everything. It has control over everything. And it's full of supreme conscious, eternally conscious divine ecstasy, and is supremely pure. So if we take shelter of Krishna, we can be concerned about things but not disturbed by things. So the world is not a nice place. Many things happen which may affect us. But when we take shelter of Krishna, we learn to become concerned about it but not disturbed by it. They won't affect us as much as they may affect the next person. So that's another benefit of taking shelter of him and taking shelter of his holy name. Trinikritya jagat sarvam.
Trinikritya jagat sarvam.
Trinikritya jagat sarvam.
Trinikritya jagat sarvam.
Rajate nothing beyond this world but the holy name. Thank you. If there's any questions or comments or anyone learned something that they didn't know before, please feel free to share.
Very nice class, Kaishori. Thank you. Very nice.
Yes.
You really put the whole name into perspective in terms of how like clarifying it is. It just really makes my mind thinking.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that really incredible class. And what was your biggest like realization or something that stuck out to you when just preparing for this?
I need to be reminded of it. Because many of the things that I might have heard before, it's like, oh yeah, tomorrow I'll forget. I'll be distracted. And so it's just to put more reminders in my life of the importance of the holy name. One of my friends once said that when you're chanting, you're talking to Krishna. Krishna's right there with you. So if you came to my house, if all of you came to my house and then I sat like this, and I did this and I did that, how would you feel? Neglected, ignored. That's how Krishna feels every time I am inattentive in my chanting. So it's to have that awareness, and it's difficult. I'm not saying it's easy. That's why the benefits of the holy name were given first, so we get attracted. But it can be done with regular practice. Kushi.
I just wanted to say it was really nice to run it through a budget because obviously it was very beautifully compared to those different aspects as you taught us. But it was just a really nice comparison because learning it through a budget, it just shows how beautiful and poetic it can be. So like the budget, it kind of says the whole thing poetic.
Yes.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. And our acharyas, that's what they did. When they came, they realized that the people of that time didn't have the intellectual capacity. They weren't philosophically minded. So they conveyed all of these deep subjects in a bhajan. Because everybody loves singing. Everybody can relate to something that sounds beautiful, the words are poetic. And so that's how they spread Krishna consciousness through bhajans. So, and I encourage you, if you come here on a regular basis and you've heard things and you don't know what they mean, ask. It wasn't until a few years ago that I really knew what Gora Arti meant. And I have been singing Gora Arti for 15, 20 years. But I was just singing it mindlessly, just because I remembered the words. But take the time to really know everything that you're singing, and you'll have a much deeper connection with it. Oh, Shushma Mata.
No, I was just going to say, you said you'll be old now.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that each time we say, even if you're sort of only 1 month old, they use the word old with it to say that you are actually old already.
Yeah. My dad sometimes jokes and he goes, how young are you? Because we always say, how old are you, right? So he'll say, how young are you today? If it's someone's birthday. So yeah, we're always reminded.
I'm fairly new here and I'm really enjoying everything. It's quite full on, some of the language and stuff, and like you said, we forget to say or know Krishna's there sometimes in our daily life. So I came across something, and if you don't mind, can I read it out? And it just again, in your busy life, and literally in your busy life, you sometimes forget. So it's a simple, beautiful prayer. When you wake up, say Krishna, I love you. When you're leaving the house, say Krishna, come with me. When you feel like crying, say Krishna, hug me. When you feel happy, say Krishna, I adore you. When you do something, say Krishna, help me. When you make a mistake, say Krishna, forgive me. When you go to sleep, thank Krishna and say to Krishna, cover me with your holy mantle.
Beautiful. Thank you. It's a very simple but powerful way to
Something you'd say to your mum or dad or brother or sister, see you later, thank you, I love you. So you can say to Krishna in the same way.
Exactly. That's why he's called the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's a person. Thank you.
So can we have 3